Hi, I'm Chef Jorge, and today I'm going to talk to you about peppers or chilies or whatever you might want to call them in your neck of the woods. I'd like to introduce to you my victims, my volunteers here. They're all the Cordon Bleu Portland students, among our best, and they volunteered with our little experiment today. As I give you a reasonably boring lecture about peppers, they're going to try the bucholakia, or the ghost pepper. It's one of the hottest, second hottest pepper in the world right now. It just got overtaken December of this year. Usually when I do this, I cut up a pepper and I have people try it. And some people react worse than others. In this case, I just ground up all the peppers, so there won't be any of that noise, will there? All right? All right, so just take a spoon, hold the spoon, and go when I tell you. Don't shake stuff off. Okay, that's good. Try to stay back here. If you have to leave, really? Okay. If you have to walk off camera, go ahead and walk off camera. Let's see how long they can take during my lecture. Go. All right. We're going to start off with the pepper that has no heat whatsoever. The green pepper. Green, yellow, red, whatever they are, these bell peppers are the same species. Have no heat whatsoever, but very savory, like all these peppers, regardless of the heat. Some people ask, why is it that people put up with this kind of heat? Well, these peppers have strong, delicious floral flavors to them that add wonders to your food. Just to help us culinary students out, probably an easiest way that I know to fillet a pepper is that. Now it's ready. I can take off the extra pith. And I hear people gagging behind me, but I'm not going to look. All right? And you could always dice up your peppers, and now you're ready for your trinity to do Cajun food or whatever, or sofrito to make Latin food. There you go. All right, like I said, this is a pepper that has no heat whatsoever. It measures 0 on the Scoville heat scale. The Scoville heat scale was developed in the 1920s by a scientist named Wilbur Scoville, and he used it to measure heat. The way it's done is that the number of the pepper on the heat scale is how many times the pepper has to be diluted in water before you don't taste it. So, for instance, this is 0. You don't taste any heat, regardless of diluting it or not. As is this. When we get to the Anaheims, we're talking the 500 to 1,000 range. Not very noticeable. These I could probably eat the whole thing myself, unlike the bucholakia, or the ghost pepper. When we get to these, about the same. These are poblanos, used in mole, but when they're used in mole, they're dried, like these, poblano peppers. In Mexico, which is where peppers originated, these peppers are all dried and roasted and used for mole. When they do mole, which is a native sauce, they rehydrate them, grind them up, and add nuts and fruit and dried fruit and all these flavorings to make a sauce. Then they'll simmer or cook their meat in it. All right? As we're moving along, we have the jalapenos. These are in the 1,500 to 2,000 range. If you notice, I keep on talking about ranges. The thing about peppers is that they change in heat from batch to batch, from crop to crop, from tree to tree. So you'll have people that'll argue with you that maybe a serrano is not as hot as a jalapeno, or vice versa. Well, generally a serrano is hotter, but in an individual case-by-case basis, you never know. Then you get to my favorite. You guys are doing great back there. My favorite pepper, or my second favorite pepper. My favorite pepper is a Scotch bonnet. Both the Scotch bonnet and the habanero are in the 150,000 to 250,000 on the range in the Scoville heat scale. My whole lifetime, this has been the hottest pepper that you can get, especially when they're in the 350,000 scale. I generally found that the smaller they are, the hotter they are. Well, they have a beautiful floral flavor. I think the Scotch bonnet has even more of a floral flavor, but they work great. If you can stand the heat, you'll love the flavor. So we said 150,000, 350,000. That's around the Scoville heat scale for those. Well, in 2004, a man named Frank Garcia of GNS Spices in Walnut, California, developed one called the Red Savina. And that went up a little higher, from 350,000 to 577, around 600,000 on the Scoville heat scale. Then, in 2006, 2 years later, it was dethroned by the Dorset Naga, which was bred by a British couple in England, in Dorset, England. That's why it was called the Dorset Naga. And that was the hottest pepper in the world for about a year. 2007 comes the Bujolakia, which is what they're eating. The Bujolakia is in the million to about 1,100,000 on the Scoville heat scale. And I bet you they can taste each one of those degrees of heat hot right now, right? Excellent. Look at them. It's fantastic. So that was in 2007. The Bujolakia. There's still television programs. A lot of information out there that'll tell you that's the hottest pepper in the world. Well, it's not. In 2011, another English company came up with the Infinity chili. They did it accidentally, but it registered just slightly higher than the Bujolakia. 2 weeks later, intentionally, the Naga Viper came out of India. And that was around the 1,400,000. We're hitting almost 1.5 million here. Keep in mind that police pepper spray is in the 1.5 to 2 million category. So this is essentially like having pepper spray sprayed in your mouth, which would be a great concept for a restaurant, I believe. Then in March of 2011, last year, the Naga Viper was overtaken by the Trinidad Scorpion Butch Tea. Great name. Why the long name? It's a hybrid of several different peppers. They're trying to kill us, essentially. The Trinidad Scorpion Butch Tea was overtaken by the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion, a close relative. You guys don't look good. All right. Those peppers reported the people who were growing them the first time that they were picking them, they had to change their gloves several times because the pepper was actually eating through the glove. They said that no other pepper that they've ever grown has done that. So I haven't gotten my hands on a Trinidad Moruga Scorpion yet, but I'd be really interested in getting one, and I'm sure my students would as well. All right? So I think these guys deserve a round of applause. I really didn't think that they'd make it through the whole thing, but they have. They don't look good, but they have made it through the whole thing. I'm sure that after they get over it, they'll feel real good because capsaicin, the active ingredient in hot peppers, makes you feel exhilarated after you've dealt with the pain. Endorphins are released in the blood. But we'll see how that works out for them, okay? Thank you very much. This has been Chef Jorge, and I hope you enjoy your chili peppers.